I've seen some weird stuff in my day, but the things that can happen at Disney World are absolutely ridiculous, for better or for worse. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. We're entering into some rather ridiculous territory in today's video. A day in Disney World is far from being normal, but when normal is what you're used to back home, how are you supposed to handle the surprising scenarios that you might encounter while you're inside the Disney bubble? Well, we're gonna help you out with that by highlighting a few of them for you. First up, you're walking down the middle of Main Street, USA, and it's very magical until your foot meets the wrong part of the trolley tracks. Seriously, this happens so frequently with guests that it almost feels like tripping over the trolley tracks is a rite of passage at this point. We've even made shirts for our dfbstore.com website honoring this defining moment that's been happening to all of us since the park opened back in 1971. In all seriousness, tripping over the trolley tracks could just be a little whoopsies and you catch yourself, or it could turn into a splat across the pavement, which is not fun. As long as you're paying attention to the road ahead and not getting too distracted by your phone or Cinderella Castle off in the distance, you should be okay and not fall for the trolley track scheming ways. But if you really want to bypass any chance of tripping over these tracks, you can always walk down Main Street, USA on the sidewalks instead, or snake through the connecting gift shops for less tripping hazards, but maybe more money spending temptations. But yeah, people do twist their ankles on these trolley tracks all the time, so be aware. Another Disney World rite of passage? Being tricked by a family member into drinking Beverly. Over at Club Cool in Epcot, you can try a bunch of free samples of international sodas, which is super fun stuff, and it certainly makes my little soda goblin heart happy. But what makes this even better is that several of the soda flavors are really, really yummy. They're just everything you want a soda to be. Just don't mind the super sticky floors in here because, it's inevitable. Alas, there is one soda that's infamous amongst the Club Cool scene, and that's the ever so notorious Beverly. The Beverly is a non-alcoholic soda from Italy that's typically enjoyed as an aperitif. But because of its ultra bitter flavor that tastes like fizzy liquid earwax to some, somebody actually said that, this drink has become something people hate to love and love to hate. No, really, some people actually do love this, and you might be part of that club too. If you are, then you'll be thrilled to know that you can actually get a full-sized version of Beverly on Disney property over at the Coca-Cola Rooftop Beverage Bar in Disney Springs, along with several other classic and international sodas that are offered at the soda fountain during the time of your visit. They can rotate out, but no matter what's there, you're going to have a good quantity to choose from. Also, can I talk about something at the Rooftop Beverage Bar that we sure do need to talk about more on this channel? Because I feel like I'm doing my fellow soda goblins out there a disservice by not speaking up about this. Sodas around Disney can get pricey, but the Rooftop Beverage Bar has refillable cups that come in different shapes and styles and prices too, but your cheapest option will put you back about $9. After you purchase your sipper, your first fill up will be the normal price of soda, around $3.50, but after that, all soda refills will only cost you $1. There's tired, and then there's Disney tired. Even if you start off your trip on a big old vacation high, running solely off of adrenaline and dreams, you're bound to crash by day 3, if not sooner. And when the crash hits, it hits hard. And it's not uncommon for someone to fall asleep inside one of Disney's more chill and longer attractions. The DFB team, as well as yours truly, are no strangers to accidentally taking cat naps inside the One Man's Dream Theater inside Hollywood Studios, or the American Adventure Show in Epcot, or even Carousel of Progress in Magic Kingdom. And listen, when your body's tired and craving AC and suddenly you get a chance to satisfy both of these things, these power naps just might happen when you least expect them to. But that's why these types of attractions are still so important to prioritize during your day. Along with all the heavy hitter rides and shows, the more low-key options give your body a chance to take a breather. And while I'd still recommend that you watch these shows because they're cool and an important part of the whole Disney experience, nobody's gonna judge you if you use this time to recharge. Just try not to snore, although I have done it before. And what happens to the families who don't get those cat naps scheduled? Well, it's not pretty, that's for sure. You know how you go on Instagram and you see a family smiling for the PhotoPass photographer with a caption, "Disney really is magical." There is a high chance that by the time afternoon rolled around on that same day, The oldest siblings got into a fight about who knows what. The youngest cried for an hour after accidentally dropping her Mickey ice cream on the sidewalk. And the parents are grumbling under their breath about why on earth they invested so much in a trip where everyone's going to be hot and tired and cranky and just asking for more souvenirs. Sound familiar? That's okay if it does. Disney World isn't a purely magical experience 100% of the time. It's exhausting. People are overstimulated. You're hungry. You're tired. You've been just eating a bunch of sugar. You're not sleeping enough. But I promise that magical moments still happen, even when the heat of the day rolls around and things are starting to feel pretty bleak. The best thing you can do to prepare for some potential meltdowns is to set priorities. What is the one thing that each person in your group wants to do the most that you need to place at the top of your must-do list? Make sure you get those rides or shows or snacks knocked out during the day, during times when everyone's back in good spirits again. And when the vibes are dying down, use this time to maybe escape the parks for a bit to chill at a nearby hotel, or have a sit-down meal, or maybe even go back to your hotel pool and just cool off, physically and emotionally. Anything else that you can accomplish during your Disney day on top of those priorities can be the icing, sprinkles, gravy, and cherries on top. Step aside, Prada. What's considered fashionable in Disney World would look rather silly if we wore it back home at our regular 9-to-5s. So what is the Disney fashion scene? A pair of Mickey or Minnie ears, a little toy companion like a cutie cuff or a Noemo or a full-on shoulder banshee? And my sincere apologies if you're new to this channel and the words I just said make no sense to you. The Disney-bounding theme to represent your favorite characters without fully cosplaying them, which is only allowed during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Magic Kingdom. Perhaps a Loungefly bag that also represents your favorite Disney film. Although some of our team members do still wear those out in public because they cost enough. And oh yeah, a full lanyard of Disney pins ready to trade at any time. Anything I'm missing? Let me know in the comments. Disney couture is fun. It's silly, it's whimsical, but it's supposed to be that way. The only problem is paying for these statement pieces on property can get real expensive real fast. You might be better off purchasing these items and packing them in your suitcase ahead of time so you can track them down for a cheaper price. Places like Amazon or even the Disney Store website, which often has some sort of a sale going on to make those authentic Disney park items cheaper than what you'd find them for when you're in the parks. And remember that Trolley Track t-shirt I mentioned was on the DFB store website earlier? That's not all we've got over there. If you're looking for a shirt, a tank, a baseball tee, a sweater, a hat, whatever, that's going to be unique from everybody else's outfit out there, but still fall into that same park aesthetic, we got a bunch of options for you to browse through. And we often have sales going on for our own DFB styles. Just saying. This is why we can't have nice things. Or rather, this is why we're limited to having certain amounts of nice things. Unfortunately, Disney resellers have become somewhat of a big issue around the Disney parks. Whenever a new collection drops or a limited time item is released or something is about to be retired from the store shelves, resellers will swoop in like vultures and attempt to purchase these items in bulk for the sole purpose of reselling them online at a way higher price point. This is not cool, in my opinion. Not only does it take away from other guests who want to purchase items for themselves for more genuine reasons, but it also forces Disney to put a purchase limit on certain popular items. If you're worried that you'll have a hard time tracking down certain Disney merch that you had your heart set on without paying a stupid expensive amount for it on eBay, here are some extra tips that might help steer you to success. First things first, check online. Not eBay online, but authentic Disney Store website where this item you're searching for might also be released. Because if you can secure the item before your trip, then you don't have to worry about battling the resellers during your trip. Now, when you're on the Disney scene, Magic Kingdom is probably where these limited time merch items will sell out the fastest, especially if you're searching for them at the Emporium on Main Street, USA. I'm not saying you'll never find what you're looking for at the Emporium, because there's a lot of stuff there, but between the bottleneck paths and cast members who will more than likely be trying to juggle a lot of things at once in the shop, resellers are a lot more common here. You'll probably be better off checking your Disney Hotel gift shop first thing in the morning or rope dropping the World of Disney mega shop at Disney Springs, which has been known to get new collections before other places around the Disney bubble. And if you're on the hunt for maybe a limited time popcorn bucket that you know is going to sell at Disney like hotcakes, never forget the Figment popcorn bucket incident of 2022. Always double check to see if said bucket can be purchased through the My Disney Experience app. This is what Disney's been doing recently to kind of cut down on all of those lines. While this mobile order option won't be available for Disney's popcorn carts and side kiosks, it could be available if the bucket you're looking for is being sold at one of Disney's quick service locations. Not only could a mobile order purchase guarantee your ownership for a limited edition popcorn bucket, but it could also help you save a whole lot of time waiting in line to pick it up too. Still not finding what you're looking for? Don't lose hope just yet. Disney restocks their merchandise frequently, so even if you're not seeing a certain item pop up at your hotel gift shop now, that doesn't mean it's not worth revisiting later on to see if it's returned to the store shelves. Since we've already addressed that Disney prices are high, elephant in the room, I guess we should really get into it. One of the biggest complaints that people consistently have about vacationing in Disney World is that it is so expensive, and that is understandable. I mean, $4 to $5 for one bottle of water, $8 for a pretzel that's shaped like Mickey Mouse, $22 for a slice of cake, $329 per person for access to the new Premier Pass Lightning Lane at Magic Kingdom. Sometimes the prices here feel so bizarrely high that it's like Disney took a dart and threw it at a random number and then added a zero. Here's the good news. You don't have to worry about draining your life savings to go to Disney World. There are several ways you can save money on hotel stays and food, park tickets, souvenirs, everything, and you can still have an awesome trip. You just have to know where to look. We've got a bunch of Disney World savings tips laid out for you in our DFB Cheapest Trip Guide. This is totally free. You can have it sent to your email right now by scanning the QR code on the screen or by going to disneyfoodblog.com/cheaptrip after this. But just to give you a little taste of what this guide talks about, here are a few money-saving tips straight from the PDF itself. 1, if you want to fly to Disney World, try booking your flight during the prime booking window about 4 months to 3 weeks before your trip. This is when airfare tends to be at its cheapest. 2, if you want to use the Kroger app to have groceries delivered to your hotel and save money on eating at Disney restaurants every single meal, new customers can typically get $15 off their first order. And 3, select Good Neighbor hotels that are owned by non-Disney companies but partner with Disney to provide guests with some hotel perks and lower room rates might offer extra perks that you're not going to find at the Disney World hotels. This can include complimentary breakfast buffets, happy hours, drink coupons, and all around bigger rooms at a better price point. Speaking of non-Disney owned hotels, there's a partnering Disney hotel inside the Disney bubble that's one of the cheapest and prettiest resorts around that'll give you the best Disney perks. And yet, there's a good chance you're not going to qualify to stay there. Might sound ridiculous at first, but once I explain, things will become a whole lot clearer and you'll totally be on board with this one. Shades of Green is an Armed Forces Recreation Center, or AFRC resort, meaning that it is owned by the United States Department of Defense, but located at Disney World. Because Shades of Green is owned by the AFRC, it's reserved exclusively for individuals who have served or are currently serving in the military, as well as their families. And because one of our DFB writers has a spouse on active duty, we were able to check this place out to report back to you. The resort serves as an affordable option for service members, so room rates are based on a scale. What does that mean exactly? Well, pricing is based off of a military member's pay grade, so someone who's just starting out their military career can expect to pay less compared to someone who's worked their way up the ranks. Though Shades of Green isn't owned by Disney, the hotel is still up to Disney's standards, so you can expect to find high-quality theming and amenities throughout. This place feels like a well-groomed golf course, but in hotel form. Of course, you're still going to receive complimentary transportation around property, as well as the early theme park entry benefit, which allows Disney hotel guests to enter any of the parks on any days 30 minutes before anyone else. But on top of that, you'll also get the extended evening hours perk, which is usually exclusive to deluxe resort guests only, and gives you the chance to stay in select parks on select evenings up to 2 hours later than anyone else. Also similar to the Disney-owned hotels, you're going to find restaurants and outdoor activities and gift shops to explore. The Exchange is basically a general store where everything is tax-free, making it worth a stop to pick up some exclusive Disney merchandise for service members. Yep, Shades of Green is a great deal for our military members, which they deserve because they are awesome. We are so thankful for your service. However, these rooms do book up quickly, so you'll want to grab your room ASAP if you're looking to stay at Shades of Green in the future. I can appreciate Disney experimenting with its snacks and drinks to give us something new and exciting beyond just, ice cream bars and churros, but Over the years, there have been some Disney World food trends that have really made me stop and go, what is happening here? Let's take a walk down memory lane. I'll never not think about the poop candy that Animal Kingdom used to sell at Zuri's sweet shop back in the day. But it wasn't like the emoji cartoony poop. It legit looked like animal feces. You could even choose which poop you wanted to try. Elephant, giraffe, cotton top tamarin, or hippo. Do you remember when Disney Springs was adding gummy snacks to entrees? Look, I like a gummy worm as much as the next guy, but when the mac and cheese food truck was around and they had that 2019 specialty Halloween item featuring pumpkin cheese sauce and cranberries and pumpkin seeds and gummy worms, yeah, this one was strange. The Grub Burger that was around for a limited time over at Deluxe Burger was also kind of a choice. This burger from back in 2019 featured tomato worms, basil grasshoppers, and balsamic vinegar spiders. Yeah, that makes my stomach churn just thinking about it too. But perhaps you find the gummy stuff better than the real deal, which you can still sometimes find in Disney World. Yep, there are some select items around Disney World that feature real bugs. During the Halloween season, Salt and Straw will bring back their Don Bugito's Creepy Crawly Critters ice cream made with matcha ice cream, coconut candied mealworms, and chocolate-covered crickets. It's actually not terrible if you can get past what you're eating. And over at La Cava del Tequila in Epcot, certain margaritas are made with a black ant salt rim, which is a mixture of dried chilies, crushed black ants, salt, and sugar. Again, if you don't think about it too hard, it's pretty good. But if you peek down and spy an antenna on your glass, it might be game over for you. It kind of is for me. And of course, let's not forget that during the 50th anniversary in 2021, Disney decided that a charred octopus tentacle coming out of your drink was going to be, excellent. We found it in the Squid's Revenge cocktail offered at Be Our Guest restaurant. And Disney also had that really big Cheeto dust kick not too long ago. Specialty fries, Cheeto dust. Limited time burgers, Cheeto dust. Halloween hot dogs, spicy Cheeto dust. Even now, the Cheeto dust still rears its head for a certain exclusive savory snack once in a while. And recently, Disney's been going hard on the freeze-dried candy. We've seen these little dudes pop up on Rice Krispie treats and caramel apples and even seasonal drinks. And they've been particularly prominent over at the Everything Pop Bakery display case inside Pop Century Resort ever since the food court reopened after an extended refurbishment. Okay, so I could keep going, but I'm going to stop here for now. All of this to say, we've been covering Disney food for a very, very long time, and Disney's got some of the most interesting theme park snacks in the business. We review them all, literally all of them. So if you're ever interested in our personal experiences when it comes to trying certain bizarre Disney snacks, we'll give you all the latest details on the website, so you'll know everything you need to know about them before you commit, including the good, the bad, and the ridiculous. But I'm not done talking about Disney World snacks yet, because, when am I ever? But let's say you've been to Disney World before, and during your last visit, you found a snack you absolutely fell head over heels for. As you anticipate your next Disney trip, you keep on dreaming about that special snack that meant so much to you. Soon, very soon, you'll be reunited. Finally, the day has arrived. You go up to the counter, you order your beloved snack, you sit down excitedly to eat it, you take the first bite, and you're disappointed? Wait a minute, did your taste buds change? Did you change? I mean, maybe, but what's more likely is that the snack changed. Even if a Disney snack sticks around their restaurant menu, that doesn't mean it doesn't change. Sometimes Disney changes the recipe or swaps out one ingredient for another, or adds a little extra embellishment to it that you could have more than lived without. This is what happened to me personally several times over the years, but the first snack that pops into my mind when I think about falling out of love with a treat, unfortunately, is the Wookiee cookie from Backlot Express. Now, for the record, I still love this treat, okay? It's just not the same as it once was, back when I used to be totally obsessed with it. In 2024, the DFB team and I noticed that the Wookiee cookie had changed. Instead of the oatmeal cookies being soft and reminding us of kind of high-quality Little Debbie OCPs, the cookies are now hard and slightly crunchy and a bit overbaked, which, hey, might be right up your alley. The creaminess of the filling has also changed over the years, tasting more like a whipped sugar, but nothing beyond that. I don't know. I still hold on to a cautious optimism that maybe it'll go back to normal someday, or at least change once more so I can claim it as a favorite again. But that's why it's always so important for us to keep our DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining up to date as often as we can, because the Disney snacks and restaurants you experienced before might not be the same experiences now. Food and snacks change, sometimes for the better, sometimes for worse. But the one thing that'll never change when it comes to munching around Disney is our honest thoughts and opinions that we add to those guides on the dfbstore.com website, even if it means deviating from how we felt about certain restaurants in the past. One thing we live by here at DFB is never say never, never say always. So the team and I were talking about this recently, and when you put it into perspective, those roaming character interactions that you can potentially become part of during your Disney day really put your acting skills on the spot. For example, let's say you're chilling in Liberty Square, minding your own business, and munching away on a Nutella waffle from Sleepy Hollow Refreshments when suddenly the ugly stepsisters come trailing past, and they ask you right then and there which one of the two is the prettiest. Well, now you've been thrown into a game of yes and. Whatever you answer is going to determine how this quickly unraveling scene plays out. It's pretty wild, and for many folks who really feed off the improvisational stuff, this kind of character interaction is going to be so up their alley. But for others who go red in the face when they're put on the spot, like me, this can be a rather nerve-wracking encounter. Like, at least when you wait in line to see a certain character, you've got time to prepare what you're going to say. The good news here is that even if roaming characters catch you slack-jawed and going, like I do, they can work with that. They're really good at keeping the energy high, even if you're not sure how to do the same. If you see a character start to come up to you and your heart starts fluttering, don't panic. They'll lead the way, and they'll probably pull in other guests nearby to help play out this scenario too. What's most likely going to happen is that nearby guests who love interacting with these characters will tag team in, and you can just watch the narrative play out. But take comfort in knowing that Disney characters, even the villains, are really good at reading the room. If your social battery is drained and you're just not wanting to do the whole back and forth with whatever character is about to pass you by, just look the other way or walk to the other side of the path. Kind of like what you do when you see your ex in the supermarket. Yeah, that's how you handle it. No baggage there. It's one thing to get stuck on a ride. It's another thing entirely to get stuck on a ride somewhere ridiculous. So my scriptwriter Bria mentioned before how she once got stuck on Haunted Mansion where those little ghosty dudes kept popping up from behind the tombstones. And while that might not be a big deal for most, the one thing that Bria and I have in common is how jumpy we are. Toast popping out of the toaster? Scary. Biscuits popping out of the can? Also scary. A grim grinning ghost popping out from the graveyard for 20 plus minutes straight, even after the ride music has stopped? Still kind of scary. But exposure therapy eventually kicked in and she was okay. And during one of my last ride-throughs on Test Track before it closed for its reimagining, my ride vehicle was in the middle of the power test portion of the ride, which is when you're going like 60 miles per hour around the track, when suddenly we slowed and stopped on the Test Track curve. Yep, sideways. Fortunately, I wasn't stuck there too long. It was probably about 15 minutes and we didn't have to do a full evacuation or anything. They got the car going again, but I was out there long enough that I got a little more of a vacation tan, so there's that. Now, if you do get stuck on a ride to the point where you'll have to do a full evac, each evacuation process looks a little different, but the universal truth of them all is A, don't panic, and B, listen to the cast members. And C, no, that's pretty much it. Don't panic and listen to the cast members. They're going to do their best to get you out of there as soon as possible, but based on where you're located in the show building, it might take cast members longer to get around to where you're seated since they're just going to be going down the line to evacuate everyone. So actually, yeah, there is a point C, which is patience. More than likely, after you've evacuated a ride, there'll be cast members toward the exit to give you an experience redemption pass as their way of saying, sorry this happened, hope this patches things up. This is not a guarantee, but it's always worth checking on regardless. These experience redemptions work like a free multi-pass lightning lane, so you probably won't be able to use them on single pass rides or rides that don't have lightning lanes at all, but you should be good to redeem them at any other multi-pass ride in the park that day. If you used a lightning lane to get on the broken down ride in the first place, you'll either see a select experiences redemption pop up in your My Disney Experience app too, or you can always touch base with guest services to see what your options are. Now, rain isn't weird and sun isn't weird or ridiculous, but a full-on mega downpour where you can't even see your hand in front of your face that happens for like 15 minutes tops, followed by the sunshiniest weather you've ever seen, is ridiculous. Orlando's pretty notorious, especially during the summer months, for torrential rainstorms that don't last very long. So if you're currently looking at the upcoming forecast for your trip and you're seeing those little rain clouds pop up on every single day, do not panic. I used to panic every single trip because it was gonna rain all week. It's gonna be awful. It's not. It's not gonna rain all week. It's gonna rain once a day all week. That's pretty much guaranteed in the summer. So check the hourly forecast when it becomes available to see just how much the storm clouds are actually going to impact your day. On some occasions, you might very well have 1 or 2 days that are, more rainy. So just plan your schedule accordingly. Those might be good days to sleep in a little and have a nice break day. Maybe go see a movie at the AMC Theater in Disney Springs or play a round of bowling over at Splitsville. But if that's not really something you can squeeze into your itinerary, Epcot is not a terrible park to be at when the storms roll in, since the only outdoor ride you have to worry about closing once it reopens is Test Track. But on the rest of those days when the rain will make its presence known before skedaddling on out of here, take cover at the nearest gift shop or indoor ride queue or quick service restaurant, and keep track of how long the storm's going to stick around by checking your AccuWeather app or whatever app you've got with an hourly kind of tracker. More than likely, it's going to roll out sooner than those scary clouds will lead you to believe, and you'll be able to resume your Disney day normally. You might even be able to enjoy some lighter crowds for a little bit, since families who aren't watching DFB Guide are going to get out of there as soon as it starts to rain, and by the time they even make it to the monorail, the rain's going to be over, and you're going to be in line for your next ride. Now, you know what else is absolutely ridiculous? The fact that you still don't know what the best restaurants are in Disney World. Okay, that's not true. But if you feel like you are missing out on that important knowledge, then be sure to check out that Best Disney Restaurant Bracket tournament that's now live on our channel and play along too if you like. And don't forget to pick up our free DFB Cheapest Trip PDF over at disneyfoodblog.com/cheaptrip. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you think is the most ridiculous thing about Disney World. I would love to see it. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.